What's up, guys? It's Phil, the King of Thrift here, back with another video to help you guys crush it on eBay, to help you earn a good full-time living or a side income if you so choose. Thanks for tuning in today. What we're going to be talking about is when you should quit your full-time job to go full-time on eBay. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in. For those who've never been to this channel, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe if you want to learn how you can work on eBay, how you can work from home and be your own boss and create the life that you love by selling and reselling things that you find at garage sales, thrift shops, Craigslist, auctions, you name it. Now, I get this question all the time as far as, when you should go full-time on eBay. Now, number one, I would say don't even think about going full-time on eBay unless you are making a good income. I would say at least when you've made 3 months, for 3 consecutive months, you've basically made what you bring home from your current full-time 9-to-5 job. So when you're bringing in on a regular for at least 3 months, no less than 3 months, I would actually say 3 to 6 months just to be safe. But when you're bringing in what you make at your job consecutively for at least 3 months, then that's a good indicator that you could be getting ready to quit your full-time job and go full-time on eBay. My second prerequisite before you would quit your job, I would say make sure that you have an eBay store. And besides having an eBay store, you need to have a nice stockpile of items in there. If you're going to quit your job, in my opinion personally, I think that you need a good safety net. And for me, that safety net is a large inventory. And the larger your inventory, the larger your safety net. Also, I would not think about quitting my current 9-to-5 job until I had at least $3,000 to $5,000 in the bank. So you will need at least $3,000 to $5,000 to keep your business running, to handle incidentals, refunds. I mean, you name it. Things are going to come up, guys. You're going to need it, if nothing else, just for inventory purchases. So, if anything happens to your vehicle, any sort of medical emergencies, I mean, a million things can happen. And when you don't have the security of a full-time 9-to-5 job and a corporation backing you, then you're basically on your own. And that $3,000 to $5,000 is basically money to keep the ship running, to keep the ship afloat. So, even more than that would be better. $10,000 would be ideal, but I wouldn't even consider it until you have at least $3,000 to $5,000 in the bank. Also, you need to have somewhere that you can get inventory on a regular basis. And it doesn't, that can mean many things for many different sellers. But I mean, you're going to have to sort of evaluate, yourself and what you're selling and your niche, and your store and your price points and so on and so forth. How many you're selling on a daily, what's your average sell-through rate, all those questions are going to come into play there. But like I said, make sure that you can get your inventory on a regular basis. That way, if you were to sell out or, your inventory is getting stale and it's not moving, you can always go pick up fresh inventory. Besides, that is the lifeblood of your company, new inventory. So that's my third tip. Now, on that note, many new sellers especially don't consider that, with all this new inventory and this full-time, endeavor, you're going to have somewhere to keep all that inventory. So, that plays a huge role, in your business. And like I said, a lot of new sellers don't think about it, and what they end up with are what they call in the industry now death piles. And that's sort of a new phrase, but I know exactly what they're talking about, and we've all been there. And it basically you end up with a huge pile of it, whether it be clothing or electronics or you fill in the blank. It could be anything, but you basically end up with a pile that gets larger and larger, and it ends up just being what they call a death pile, because it feels like it wants to overtake you. This thing seems to grow. It's like the blob. You younger kids out there probably don't know what that is, but yeah, the blob just grows and grows, and it feeds and it gets larger and larger, and eventually, it consumes everything around it. And, that's like your death pile. That's what will happen. So you need to, number one, you need to have somewhere where you're going to keep your inventory. And number two, plan on growth. Plan on growth of at least 100%. So if you've got a 300 square feet, space that you're keeping, which is a pretty decent amount of space. If you got 300 square feet or say 50 square feet and you've quit your job and that's your nice stockpile and you got 3 to 5 in the bank, and you've been making good money, then you're going to need at least 100 square feet. Or if you have 300 square feet, you're going to need 600 square feet. So, and if not, you're going to need to be able to move that inventory out while you're bringing new inventory in. So either way, it's going to be a little finagle there, and that's something that you're going to learn with time. But you know, I would definitely recommend that you do have somewhere you can keep your inventory, somewhere that's safe, somewhere that's climate controlled, preferably. 9 times out of 10, depending on what you're selling. If you're selling clothes, especially, you know. So just remember that you will need somewhere to keep this large and growing, you know, ever growing inventory. All right, guys. My next tip for you know, quitting your job and going full time on eBay. Before you do so, make sure that you've got your systems down. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, check out my previous. I have a video in my series, and it's how you can increase your listings on eBay. And in that video, I started going to systems and a little detailed on that. And that's basically, you know, putting systems into place for different, you know, areas of your business. You know, a system for shipping, a system for picture taking, you know, a system for listing. You know, in other words, you need to have your systems down. They need to be in place, and they need to be tried and true. So make sure that you've got your systems, you know, worked out. You've got the kinks worked out, and you know, they're running smoothly before you quit your job. Don't forget about taxes. Many new sellers tend to neglect their taxes, but you will need a good CPA. You will need to keep your taxing account information on point from day one. And that's basically just documenting everything and keeping every receipt and keeping everything organized. And trust me, in the long run, you're going to thank me for that. So don't forget about your taxes. And on that note, also insurance. Whenever you quit, you know, your good corporate job in corporate America, that's probably the best thing about working, you know, for corporate America is the you know, the insurance that comes along with it. Now, when you're on your own, you can get good insurance. I mean, me and my family have good insurance, and to be honest with you, it's not even really any more expensive than what you're paying probably right now at your current job. You might be getting a little bit of a break, but trust me, it's not that big of a deal to go out and get you know, insurance independent of a huge corporation. So don't let that stop you if that's what you're afraid of. There are plenty of good insurance companies out there that you know, that you can sign up for with no problems. All right, guys, and if you haven't already, make sure that you go down into the description section of this video and sign up for your free copy of Selling Men's Shoes on eBay. It's a quick start guide to selling shoes on eBay. I've also included the top 25 brands of shoes that sell on eBay. Now, this is completely free. It's basically a way to say thank you for everyone who watches my channel and all my subscribers out there. Thank you guys. Go ahead and just go down into the description section of this video and download it and get started selling shoes, guys. That's perhaps the easiest thing to sell on eBay. Just go in and download it now and start making some money today, guys. You can start making money as quickly as tomorrow. I've made it very easy to understand and you know, very easily workable plan to get you started as soon as possible. Thanks for tuning in, and hey, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to this channel if you want to learn how to work from home and be your own boss. And if you like this video, if it's helped you out, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if you have any more questions about you know, this subject as far as when you should quit your job and go full-time on eBay, drop that in the comments section below. Until my next video, you guys be good.
So looking for that gold popping tags, now it's time to take it home, let's get it sold. I'm in the thrift game, no I ain't about the fame. Been record shops for 20 years in the game, man.